Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 40% three-point shooter chose Warriors over Lakers, insider. Despite their efforts, the Los Angeles Lakers lost out on Buddy Hield in free agency. The career 40% three-point shooter agreed to a sign-and trade to the Golden State Warriors. Shams Charania, Mark Pulio, Anthony Slater, and Mike Vorkunov of The Athletic reported on Hield's spurning of the Lakers. Hield chose the Warriors because of the opportunity to win over other interested suitors, including the Detroit Pistons and Los Angeles Lakers, The Athletic staff reported on July 4. The Golden State Warriors have agreed to a deal acquiring Buddy Hield via sign-and trade from the 76ers, sources tell at The Athletic at Stadium. New teammates Hield and Stephen Curry are leaders for most three-pointers made over the last 5 NBA seasons, and now will be teammates. The Golden State Warriors have agreed to a deal acquiring Buddy Hield via sign-and trade from the 76ers, sources tell at The Athletic at Stadium, Charania tweeted on July 4. New teammates Hield and Stephen Curry are leaders for most three-pointers made over the last 5 NBA seasons, and now will be teammates. Hield is coming off of his 8th NBA campaign. He started the season off with the Indiana Pacers before being dealt to the Philadelphia 76ers at the trade deadline. Hield averaged 12.1 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game between 84 regular season appearances last season. Los Angeles's efforts to lure free agents this summer hasn't panned out. In addition to Hield, the Lakers failed in their attempts to recruit Klay Thompson. Sam Amick of The Athletic reported on the behind-the-scenes of Thompson's free agency. And ultimately, why Los Angeles fell short. He had phone conversations with James and new Lakers coach J.J. Redick that were all positive, league sources say, with Lakers president of basketball operations Rob Pelinka staying in touch with Lawrence, but the allure of the Lakers situation simply didn't match what the Mavericks had to offer, Amick wrote on July 3. He ended up with the Dallas Mavericks by way of a 3-year, $50 million deal and sign-and trade with the Warriors. Despite, as Amick reported, being reported a higher offer from the Lakers. League sources say a Lakers deal would have been far more lucrative, Amick added. With discussions about a 4-year, $80 million deal for Thompson if they had been able to convince the Warriors to cooperate in a sign-and trade that would have sent D'Angelo Russell back to the Warriors, or to a third team. Thompson is coming off of his 12th NBA campaign, all with Golden State. He averaged 17.9 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 2.3 assists. As of July 4, Los Angeles has yet to sign an outside free agent. And the field is slimming. They're turning their attention to the trade market, according to Jovan Buha of The Athletic. They have been active in recent days, discussing potential deals with Portland, Brooklyn, and Utah, among other teams, according to league and team sources, Buha wrote on July 2. As well as a potential sign-and trade for Chicago Bulls star DeMar DeRozan. After missing out on Thompson, the Lakers quickly turned their attention to another James target, free agent wing DeMar DeRozan, Buha wrote. Similar to Thompson, DeRozan, 34, is both a potential non-taxpayer mid-level exception candidate and a sign-and trade candidate for Los Angeles, according to league sources. But on a July 2 episode of the #ThisLeagueUncut podcast with Mark Stein, insider Chris Haynes said those talks aren't going well. I would consider it frozen, Haynes said on the podcast. Antarctica. DeRozan is coming off of his 15th NBA campaign, and third with the Bulls. He averaged 24 points, 5.3 assists, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.1 steals in 79 regular season appearances last season. The presences of Anthony Davis and LeBron James alone command a better roster than the Lakers are currently boasting. Some sort of move will be made ahead of next season. Running it back isn't an option. The only question is when? And for who? How the Warriors turned the Klay Thompson sign-and trade into a 5-team deal. The Golden State Warriors saw a franchise legend leave this summer, as Klay Thompson's frustrations with his role and the team's refusal to pay him long-term led him to seek out a deal elsewhere, ultimately landing in Dallas on a 3-year, $50 million deal. However, the Mavs didn't have cap space, and in order to secure Thompson's services, they needed to offer him more than the mid-level exception they had at their disposal. As a result, they worked out a sign-and trade with the Warriors that was initially a 3-team deal that sent Josh Green to Charlotte and a pair of second-round picks to Golden State, along with a large trade exception. It didn't take the Warriors long to figure out how they wanted to use that exception, but in order to maximize their return, they opted to turn the initial 3-team sign-and trade for Thompson into a 5-team extravaganza that saw 3 different players get signed and traded. They started by bringing in Kyle Anderson on a 3-year, $27 million deal from Minnesota, sending the Wolves a future second-round pick and creating a healthy trade exception for the Wolves. 2 days later, they found the successor to Thompson's role as sharpshooter, getting Buddy Hield on a rather complicated 4-year, $37 million contract, with $21 million guaranteed, in a sign-and trade with Philadelphia, moving one of the Dallas second-round picks to the Sixers, and, of course, a trade exception. By folding both of those deals into the initial Klay trade, they were able to bring in 2 players to build out depth at the 2-guard and power forward spot for Thompson. It's not often we get a 5-team trade in the NBA, but this is also the value of doing business early in the free agency moratorium period, as you can tack things onto a trade before it becomes official on July 6 when the league year actually begins. Can the Warriors still trade for Lauri Markkanen? The Warriors have signed sharpshooter Buddy Hield, but Dubs fans still want Lauri Markkanen. So, is there a way the Warriors can still sign him? San Antonio and Golden State are both interested in the Jazz forward, but Yahoo Sports' Jake Fisher recently threw cold water on trade rumors. The Jazz are conducting their business with a 10% chance they're going to move him, Fisher said on No Cap Room. Fisher also spoke about the Kings as a legitimate suitor for Markkanen. The Sacramento Kings, to my knowledge, earlier this week were close to a deal. I do think that, based off of conversations I've had, Fisher said. I can't say more than that, but there were calls made to people around the NBA that would have indicated that talks have been legitimate there. Teams like the Warriors and Kings may have trouble signing Markkanen because the asking price may be too high. Jazz will only seriously consider trading Markkanen if they receive an offer similar in value to the one the Nets got for Mikal Bridges, Michael Sato of Hoops Hype says. This haul for Brooklyn included 4 unprotected first-round picks, an unprotected first-round swap, and 1 more protected first-round pick. If the Warriors did want Lauri, they would need to go all in and likely give up one of their bright young stars, like second-year guard Brandon Podziemski. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Lauri Markkanen? Leave your opinion in the comments.